and welcome to the Money Show, your one-stop destination for your personal finance queries. I'm Kavita Thaplial, and today on the show we'll be focusing on our viewer queries. And to answer all the viewer queries, I have with me Nisreen Mamaji, CFP, Moneyworks Financial Services. Nisreen, hi, good evening, welcome to the show. And for all the viewers who've just tuned in, you can note down our WhatsApp number and email ID where you can send across your question. Our WhatsApp number is 865-797-4571, and our email ID is themoneyshow@etnow.tv. And you can send across your portfolio related queries wherein you can give us details like your investment strategy so far, your investments in mutual funds, or maybe any financial goal for which you might need a financial strategy. Do send across your detailed questions so that we can do your life financial planning on the show. All right, let's begin. Nisreen, we will take Kirtan's question first, and he's planning to invest for his retirement over the next 15 years. He says that he's a high-risk investor, and he's done a bit of research, and he says that he plans to start by doing a monthly SIP of 1 lakh, and he will increase it by 10% annually. He will step it up, and he will be dividing 20,000 equally in each funds. The funds that he has researched and thought of investing in are Parag Parikh Flexi Cap. He's thinking of investing in Quant Flexi Cap, ICICI Pru Nasdaq 100, UTI Nifty 500 Value 50 Index, or ICICI Pru Value Discovery, Motilal Oswal Nifty 500 Momentum 50 Index. He is looking for high returns, as he says that he is a high risk investor. We don't have him on the phone line, and I don't have any idea of how exactly he is looking at this entire portfolio in order to accumulate a specific corpus for retirement. What's going to be his retirement requirements from this particular portfolio? So all those details are not there with us. But then although keeping in mind the kind of fund selection you might recommend it to him, if he invests 1 lakh and steps it up by 10% annually, what's going to be the corpus that he's likely or most likely to accumulate in 15 years? What's the calculation like, Nisreen?
Yeah. So, Kirtan, congratulations, for starting and, choosing your funds pretty well. And thanks, Kavita, for having me on the show. So where Parag Parikh FlexiCap is concerned, he should definitely continue this investment. It's given a SIP return of nearly 20% over the last 10 years. It includes international equity, domestic equity, as well as arbitrage and cash. So it is definitely to be considered, and you can continue this fund. Quant FlexiCap, because you already have Parag FlexiCap, which is performing reasonably well, you can switch that SIP to Sundaram Business Cycle Fund. So this will give you, a range of themes which will be working prospectively in the next, 3 to 5 years. So you could definitely stop one of the FlexiCap funds, which is Quant, and then reinvest that amount into the Sundaram Business Cycle Fund. Motilal Oswal Nifty 500 Momentum 50 Index Fund, you can continue that. There's no change. You've given a choice between UTI Nifty 50 Value 50, and Nifty 500 Value 50, and the ICICI Prudential Value Discovery Fund. So I would recommend that you go for the ICICI Prudential Value Discovery Fund. Again, a beautiful fund with a nearly 20-year track record, performed very well across market cycles, and you should be going in for that. And you have ICICI Pru Nasdaq 100 Index Fund that you should continue. You can continue that Nasdaq fund. So after 15 years, if we, project or expect a 13% compounded annualized growth rate with a 10% annual SIP step up, you can expect about 9 crores in your portfolio. So you will have a little idea of how you can do this planning. You're investing 1 lakh a month, and, you are going to plan to invest this for the next 15 years. So definitely, if these figures work out and you get your expected CAGR of 13%, plus you do a 10% step up, you can expect, 9 crores in your portfolio. Make sure that you review this portfolio every 3 years and that you are on the right track, and continue to invest. Happy investing.
is what you will be able to accumulate. All right, let's move on and let's take Diptanshu's question. And he has invested in Parag Parikh Flexi Cap 20,000, Bandhan Nifty Alpha 150, the amount is 15,000, Motilal Oswal Mid Cap 4,000, and Kotak Multi Asset. Quant multi-asset 1000. Target is to accumulate 75 lakhs in next 6 years, and the SIP he started from October 2024. He says that he's 48 years old. I don't have him on the phone line. 75 lakh portfolio in next 6 years. How much do you think he'll have to increase his investment amount?
All right. So we have, is this Kirtan's?
This is Diptanshu. Diptanshu.
Diptanshu, sorry, just give me a minute. I'm
Sure.
trying to figure
I'll read out the funds again. It's
Yes,
Parag
please.
Parikh Flexi Cap, 20,000 going in there. Again, I don't know if it is an SIP or a lump sum. I'm assuming it's an SIP. Bandhan Nifty Alpha 150, 15,000. Motilal Oswal Mid Cap 4,000. Quant Multi Asset Fund 1,000. And target is to accumulate 75 lakhs in next 6 years. SIP started from October 24.
Sure. So he can continue all these funds. Diptanshu Sinha can continue these funds of 40,000 rupees SIP, but he will need an additional SIP of about nearly 24,500, approximately 25,000 rupees, because at 40,000 rupee SIP, if we calculate at a 13% compounded annualized growth rate, he'll have about, 4.6 crores. And his requirement is a little higher. So he should be investing another 24,500. And in 8.5 years, if we get a 13% compounded annualized growth rate, he will have the required amount of 75 crores. So instead of 46 crores, because your target is a little higher, it's 75. 75 lakhs. You should be investing 24,500 more. The options of where to invest are Motilal Oswal Mid Cap Fund, about 6,000 rupees. Quant Multi-Asset Fund, 3,500 rupees, and Sundaram Business Cycle Fund, about 15,000 rupees. So your additional SIP would be required, and you can then get your target in about 8.5 years, provided that your compounded annualized growth rate is about 13%. So all the very best, Diptanshu.
Any specific reason? Sundaram Business Cycle Fund seems to be a common in both the recommendation for Kirtan and Diptanshu.
Yeah, so basically, the business cycle funds and Sundaram has been performing pretty decently. So any of the business cycle funds or the India opportunity funds are slightly more opportunistic, and they're looking at the next 3 years prospectively. What are the themes that are going to be playing out? So it could be, IT, it could be consumers, it could be digital. So whatever is prospectively going to happen, the fund manager in this particular case will be looking.
What's the current exposure in terms of stock selection for Sundaram Business Cycle?
It will typically be a premium, FMCG. There will be some digital and IT and manufacturing. So these are the business cycle kind of themes which play out and which are expected to play out, which even the government is supporting in the last few budgets, if you notice. So this is where the focus will be, from the industry point of view. So therefore, this business cycle fund is certainly something that, one of our favorites and which we expected to do pretty well. Sundaram as an AMC also is, has got a very, very good funds. It's a AMC with excellent track record. They have, the services fund, which has performed very well. They have the financial services fund, which has performed very well. Their multi-cap is
looking at in Sundaram now, and I'm sure there are other business cycle fund that we will also discuss on the show, but then it's time for a quick break, and post that let's connect to our viewers on a call. And before I slip into a break, let me also flash our WhatsApp number and email ID where you can send across your questions. Welcome back. You're watching the Manish Show. Nisreen Mamaji is there to answer our viewer queries live. And let's take Harsh's question. He's on the phone line with us live. Harsh, hi, good evening. Thank you so much for sending us your question.
Yeah, hi, good evening, ma'am.
Hi. Okay, so 3 CR in 15 years. Do you want to talk about your funds?
Yeah, so currently I am doing SIP, just the Parag Parikh Flexi Cap for 10,000, Motilal Oswal Mid Cap 10,000, Tata Small Cap 10,000.
Right.
And I want to add 25,000 more SIP.
Okay.
Okay, I already also have a lump sum and JM Flexi, which is 1.5, Quant Large Cap 1.5, Quant Small 1 lakh, and Kotak Emerging Mid Cap 2.5.
Okay.
Like just wanted to add, should I add any new fund or on the existing fund only, should I top up with this 25,000 rupees more SIP?
Okay. No more lump sum investment that you want to do, is that right?
No.
Okay. All right. So Nisreen, Parag Parikh Flexi Cap, Motilal Oswal Mid Cap, Tata Small Cap, SIP going on 30,000 and he wants to add 25,000 more. So is the current portfolio enough for more addition or you would recommend one more fund because the current funds, except for a small cap maybe, otherwise both funds are quite okay.
In the Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund, which is an existing fund, about 15,000 rupees. And one more additional fund I'd like to recommend is the ICICI Prudential Innovation Fund. Okay. So the Innovation Fund is also something which is going to be a little more futuristic. We'll be selecting themes, which will include logistics, will include digital, and, it will include some of the stocks which are possibly not there in the existing funds that you have. So, in the required measure. So you can do that 10,000 rupees additional. So totally an additional 25,000 rupees, 15,000 Parag Parikh, I2 Innovation 10,000. In your lump sum investments, I think that you can continue with JM Flexi, Quant, Nippon Small Cap, and Kotak Emerging to 2.5 lakhs. You can continue those. So your current value of your SIPs and your lump sum is about 12 lakhs. So your future value after 15 years, if we, projected at 13% compounded annualized growth rate, would be about 3.85 crores. So this is what you can expect, provided that the, return expectation is met. So obviously it's a 15-year journey and, you'd be advised to review this every few years and make sure that you're on the right track. But most of the funds that you are invested in are very good funds. So you should definitely continue those with a few recommendations that I have just made. All the best.
You want to ask Nisreen?
No. Thanks a lot.
All the best. I have with me on the phone line connected with me is Manish Jaiswal. Hi Manish, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you so much for sending us your question. So I have your fund details and you're investing your dividend of almost 11,000 as an SIP in a couple of funds. And your investment horizon is 15 years. What's the total amount of SIP? I'm sorry. Can I just know that?
Yeah, so currently my SIP amount is 11,000, but I want to increase by another 10,000. So
It's 11,000 only.
It should be,
okay.
Yeah.
You want to increase it to 10,000. Okay. What's the corpus that you want to accumulate in 15 years?
Okay, so I'm looking to the tune of around 1.5 crores.
1.5 CR. Is this a retirement corpus?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's. Anyone recommended these funds to you?
Actually, I have been a regular viewer of your question and answer shows and from other sources of information. So it helped me to narrow down to these particular funds.
Sure. Great. Thank you so much for watching. But what happens a lot of time is when we advise other viewers, it's maybe suiting their risk profile and their financial goals and other aspects. But then, yeah, let's get you a customized recommendation and suggestion from Nisreen. Nisreen, what do you think is right for Manish?
So, I mean, that was very well said, Kavita, that, of course, one size doesn't fit all. And, we typically would advise or recommend certain funds depending on your, financial demographics, your personal demographics, risk tolerance, and tenure. So that was, that was a very good, point that Kavita raised. So you're already investing 11,000 rupees in I2 Nifty 50, Parag Parikh Flexi, and Nippon India Small Cap. So definitely continue those. And the additional SIPs to the tune of 19,000 rupees can be invested in additionally Nippon India Small Cap 5,000 rupees, iPro Value Discovery 7,000 rupees, and Franklin India Opportunities Fund another 7,000 rupees. Okay, so these are the three funds which can be added on. And as you've asked for 19,000 further SIP. And after 15 years, in case we get a compounded annualized growth rate of 13%, so we're just projecting on the basis of an expected compounded annualized growth rate of 13%, you would have about 1.65 crore in your corpus. And after 17 years, if that can be extended by another couple of years, it would be 2.2 crores. So the SIP required to achieve 2 crores in 15 years, if you need to invest, you have a 15-year term in mind for various other reasons, and you do have to, about 2 crores at the end of 15 years, you can increase your SIP by about 6,000 rupees only. So the total SIP would be about 36,000 rupees. And for that, we would recommend Parag Parik Flexi Cap Fund. So you can increase 6,000 rupees in Parag Parik Flexi Cap Fund, and which you're already doing for 5,000 rupees. And then, hopefully getting an expected growth rate of 13% over the next 15 years, you will meet your target. Having said that, please make sure that you review regularly to remain, on target and to make sure that, you will be achieving your expected goals. All the best.
Right, with that, it's a wrap on the show. Thank you so much, Nisreen, for answering all our viewer queries today. And for our viewers, I'm going to leave you with our WhatsApp number and email ID. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.